Alright, so this is the second part of a video. I kind of alluded to it at the beginning of my Trolls World Tour video, but I figured even though some time has passed since this whole news came out and kind of got out of control, I figured I'd talk about it a bit. So in case you were unaware of what's going on in the movie news, Trolls World Tour is a massive hit on VOD. It broke several records, including biggest debut for a VOD film, biggest purchase for a Universal film, and because of that, Universal kind of announced, unofficially, that they might reconsider their whole platform. Instead of just releasing movies into theaters right away, they announced that they would probably release it in theaters and on VOD simultaneously. So, and that did not work out so well as well as they thought. Because obviously movie theaters are very angry right now with them, saying, AMC was the first to boycott Universal, saying, we will not be playing your movies anymore. We will not forget this. Those are some strong words right there. Meanwhile, other movie theaters jumped on to AMC as well, saying we're not going to play Universal movies either if they go through with this. Regal as well said that. AMC and Regal, those are the two closest ones near me. And so, essentially, this whole video is basically me, it is, my thoughts on the whole situation, and, essentially why I think both of them are wrong, why, Universal's wrong, and why the theaters are wrong at the same time, because really this is just a really petty fight over just something that one person thought of, and really, think it out before you start fighting, essentially. So, again, what happened? AMC had a big hit with Trolls World Tour. Everyone's kind of staying in due to the pandemic. And Trolls World Tour was a massive success. And it did better than, most VOD movies would do. Again, probably due to the pandemic more than anything, but still. Universal kind of got the idea to release just any movie in theaters and on VOD at the same time. Again, theaters were mad. They said, we're no longer playing your movies. And let's start off with how I think Universal's wrong in this whole situation. Because when theaters started closing down, they initially announced, hey, we will be putting Trolls World Tour on VOD, but we'll also be putting some movies that are already playing in theaters, like Invisible Man, The Hunt, Emma. They'll be available to stream. Not really stream, but to rent on Amazon or something for 48 hours. And that idea didn't really turn out so well for them. They weren't that successful. They didn't make the top 10 list anywhere. Or even top 20, unfortunately, which is a shame because Invisible Man is actually a really good movie. So now Trolls World Tour, I can't speak today. That movie comes around, breaks all these records, and they announce, we'll keep doing this. And I don't know if I really like that idea, because you're really only claiming to try a new successful model, again, during a troubling time for pretty much everyone, regardless. And you're trying this after one successful attempt, even though, your last three efforts didn't really turn out so well. Because, right afterwards, Universal announced that their Pete Davidson, Judd Apatow movie, The King of Staten Island, which I just saw the first trailer for, that actually kind of doesn't look that bad. They announced that movie would be would be skipping theaters entirely and going straight to VOD. And I don't know if it's really going to work out as well for them, unfortunately. Probably going to play more The Invisible Man, The Hunt, Emma. Who knows? Maybe it will. It won't be as big as Trolls World Tour, obviously, but it might do better than those movies, only because it's new. And honestly, I feel like this whole idea of theirs is not nearly as profitable. Obviously, people should be staying inside. People are streaming a lot more. They could rent movies that are newer if they want to. But it doesn't seem nearly as profitable as they might think. Because, yeah, Trolls World Tour made $100 million just on VOD alone. Which, yeah, that's a big deal, without a doubt. But, again, Invisible Man, The Hunt, and Emma did not do as well. So it's why would you do this after claiming one successful movie? It's Netflix didn't really ramp up their original series after House of Cards debuted. I remember when that show came out, they tried to make it a big deal, but they didn't really claim it was a big success or anything. But then it was like a show like, say, Orange is the New Black, which debuted right after, and that was the more successful Netflix show. So, again, it just kind of doesn't really make sense for them. It doesn't really seem profitable to them at this time. But then again, any money will do right now, apparently, so why not? And I feel like this movie, Trolls World Tour, is only really successful because it's a lot cheaper to do it. Because, you know, families go to the movies to see movies like this. And it would be very expensive to do. Because, like, you could spend, like, $40 just on tickets alone. And then another $40 on concessions, probably. So you're just basically spending $80 for, like, a family of 4 to see Trolls World Tour. But then again, if your family's at home, you buy Trolls World Tour for $20. You can just watch it there, get your own snacks, and your family's fine. You're still enjoying the movie from the comfort of their own home. So it makes sense for them. It doesn't really make sense for me, so I don't know why I paid $20 for it. Maybe I'm just bored. I don't know. But anyway, also doesn't really help Universal that all these movies are only available for 48 hours for $20 a pop. So that also really doesn't help. Whereas, like, other movies that kind of released recently, like Sonic, Bloodshot, Call of the Wild, even Onward is cheaper. And you can rent that for longer, honestly. Oh, man. But anyway, it doesn't really seem as profitable for them. It would be cheaper for families, which is why next week is kind of going to be a bigger test, because that Scoob is planning on releasing next week. I'll try to review that when that comes out. So hopefully families are still staying inside. I know they're lifting restrictions. It's way too soon. But hopefully they stay inside. Maybe it can be a Trolls World Tour size hit. But we'll wait and see. As for theaters, as much as I want to go back to the theaters, as much as I really want to sit in a movie theater, watch a movie on the big screen again, I also think they're wrong in this whole scenario. Because obviously, like any other industry, like right now, movie theaters are just suffering. AMC almost went bankrupt. Other movies are in financial trouble as well. And a lot of these big movie theaters are saying, we're not going to be playing your movies anymore, Universal, because you want to go VOD as well, and that is not okay. That is not the code of NATO. Poorly named, by the way. And I get it, but I also think you're wrong, movie theaters. I get it because, like, you know, you originally wanted this to play in movie theaters, but again, like, this is just an unprecedented time. You really can't go to a movie theater right now. That's just not a safe option. Obviously, movie theaters are closed right now, but it's... Even I don't feel safe going back to a movie theater for right now. At least not until there's a vaccine, probably. But are they really going to avoid, like, just ignore all Universal movies that are coming out? Like Jurassic World, the next Jurassic World movie, the next Fast and Furious movie, the next Minions movie that comes out. They were all supposed to come out sometime soon, but they're all pushed back. But you're all going to ignore them? Those are all billion-dollar movies. Like, those are movies that people actually pay to see in theaters. So, I don't know. I just feel like this is obviously this is an unprecedented time for pretty much everyone involved, and I really should not be the person who's trying to mediate this whole thing. But I guess Universal tried to clear it up later by saying, well, we'll release some movies on the big screen. We're committed to that. But at the same time, we'll release some movies on VOD. Like, and I can kind of see that happening for a while. Or at least after this whole era ends. With, you know, movies like Jurassic World, Fast 9, Minions, whenever those movies come out. Yeah, those will probably go straight to theaters because they're all billion-dollar movies. But a movie like King of Staten Island, the new Pete Davidson movie that I mentioned, that could go straight to streaming. Or VOD, as it were. Because, like, I think movie studios, they're going to rethink their whole strategy on, like, which certain movies to release in theaters. Like, movie theaters are probably now going to be just for the big movies. Like, you know, your MCU movies, your DC movies, your movies like Tenet, movies like, you know, those Universal movies that I mentioned. A lot of smaller movies are probably now just going to go straight to stream VOD, and hopefully they can make a quick buck on it. But I don't know if it's as profitable. Right now it's profitable, obviously, because everyone is staying inside. A lot of people are staying inside. Thank God for that, at least. But I don't know. I just feel like everyone is wrong in some way. Like, theaters are wrong because, you know, essentially they're mad at Universal for thinking about this idea and possibly changing the whole format, their model, as it were. And it's like, you know, Universal's just trying to make money because, you know, a lot of companies are not really making money right now, especially movie theaters are not making money right now. So, I mean, I get why, you know, you would want to do this, theaters and Universal. I get it. I'm trying not to take a side in this whole thing because, like, I do know that streaming will be the future. I just want to stay in movie theaters. I just want movie theaters to stick around much longer, and with this whole pandemic going on, it's upsetting to me. Like, I love the theater experience more than anything, but movie theaters are not going to last forever. Even I know that, unfortunately. So, I don't know, I just feel like this wasn't really a great explanation for the whole thing, but I did the best I could, I feel like. Probably should have done it better. Oh well. So, what are your thoughts on the whole Universal versus movie theaters conversation? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and please wash your hands. Stay safe.